Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of DeadAnt Survival. As you can see, we have got another floor done and ready for a new farm. Technically not a farm actually, because in this level we are going to build a super smelter. So over in this box I've got everything I should need for this super smelter. So a whole bunch of hoppers, the furnaces, some minecarts for the hoppers, the powered rails, chests, redstone, and then all the fuel that I should need for a while. So you can see this is going to be a 64 furnace super smelter, so we're going to get a full stack of smelted items pretty bloody quickly, which is going to be awesome. And this super smelter is going to fit just in this side here, and on the other side I'm probably going to do a smelter system that I can get XP from, but that's going to come at a later date. Today we're only focusing on the super smelter on this side. So let's get to it. So the smelter itself is going to be 8 wide, and then we need a loading system. So it's probably going to be 11 in total, which will give us 2 blocks walking space here. It's going to be tight, but I think it'll be fine. I'm also going to leave a 1 gap here, so we'll be starting on the edge. So to begin with, I'm going to put the output chest 10 blocks from the wall. Which will be there. Then we're going to do the hopper line coming from that. So I may have to move this hopper line one over in the future, but for now I am going to leave it here and we'll see what I can build around it. So back row is going to be 16 long, full of furnaces, starting from here. Now let's put the furnaces in. And we need an input hopper for the item, as well as for the fuel source. So the item is at the top, and the fuel source will be at the back. So that's the item input, and this is the fuel source input. So that is the first row of furnaces done. Let's go on to the second. And same go with the hoppers. We need some on the back and some on the top as well. So halfway there for the hoppers and furnaces. And this is the final row of output hoppers. If you don't have experience with hoppers, you really want to make sure that you're sending them in the correct direction. So the important thing to know is that whatever you are looking at is the way that it's going to face. So that's going into the side. If I look down, it's going to go straight down, and so on. So wherever you want it to go, that's where you want to place it in the direction of. So now that we have all the hoppers in and all the furnaces in, we need to think about the input system for the minecarts that'll be dropping off both the coal or whatever other fuel source I might use and the blocks. So what is going to happen is these lower ones is where the fuel source goes into. So 2 on this side and 2 on that side. And then the top ones is where the blocks have to go into. So I need to put rails with minecarts all along the top, going back and forth through all of them. So let's start running the rail line and figure out where we want to put them exactly. So I want the input of the coal coming in from this side. So we have to go along here. It does take more time doing it on hoppers because you got to crouch in place. If you don't crouch, you open the hopper, and that's just annoying. But it is what it is. We just got to go a bit slower. And then 2 turns. Some more turns. And we do want to have it rebound away from this. Ideally it'd be better 1 over. I might do it 1 over because we're going to get more items in this hopper otherwise. Because even when the minecart's here, it could still be detecting and we might get 3 or 4 items there instead of 2. So we can always change it in the future, but I think that'll be okay like that. As you can see, what would work perfectly is if the input came in from here and snaked around there, back down, and then around to the back, and then returned. But that leaves both of the inputs on the same side, and that's going to mess up how I'm going to do this system. I really do need it to come in from this side. So I'm going to have to make some minor changes to this other line. I think if I just come out a little bit there, this one can go up and over and it'll make do that way. So let's see if I can make that work. So I think this will work, but there's only one way to find out. So there's all the input rails in place, and to power it we are simply going to use a redstone block every now and then. So that powers both the top and the bottom most of the way, so we need 2 on each row. 2. Is it in line? It is in line. Beautiful. So next we are going to be doing the hopper loading system. So what we need to do is build up this to there. This needs to be a detector rail. I might make that a regular rail in a second, we'll see. Need a hopper above that to break that. Block. And then a chest on top of the hopper. Then from the chest we need to put a comparator coming out into a block. This might be too close. I didn't test it this close to the hoppers up here, so if this doesn't work I will have to move it over 1 more, which I don't really want to do, but if I need to do it I will. We also need to put a piston here. And I need an access block. Shouldn't be an issue, but... And that's right. That block needs to be transparent. So the transparent block goes there. Redstone on top of that. Then we need a repeater here. We need to put a block behind it with redstone there. So now, when this chest has items in it, it's going to detect it and open or close this off, and it's going to retract when it's empty, which is when the hopper is empty. Or sorry, hopper's full, chest is empty, and that should allow the cart to go on. Let's test a cart that is actually going to stop and move, because sometimes it is just a bit buggy and it doesn't stop and you might have to move it over one. So we'll see if that happens, and I'm going to prevent things from going further than that. So I'm just going to put something random in here, like that. That'll go there, it's filling up that, and it goes off. Full of the items. It's exactly what we want. And then we're also going to put a manual stopping system right there, so I can just close it up. That way the hoppers will just stay there until I release this. So let's mirror this on the other side for the block input. So we've got all the systems put in place now, and the only thing left to do is test it. So let's see if I was successful. So I'm going to take a stack of coal, put it into here, and that should take off when it's ready. And I'm going to take 2 stacks of sand, put it into here, and that will go when it's ready. I'm actually going to increase the capacity of these, so that actually gives me double the speed feeding as well. That. So it should go twice as quick. There it goes. So they are empty. There goes that. They're all lighting up. I'll let that do 2 laps. And then next time it comes back in, it'll stop. Although it shouldn't need 2 laps, because this one is in fact empty and it had 2 stacks in it. Let's see what we get. So we did lose some coal somewhere. I'll see if I can figure out where that was from. Okay, so we had 4 go missing somewhere. Let's painstakingly try and figure out where that might have been. So what could be happening is, as this cart is going up, it's actually going straight into this hopper, because there could be too close. So that's a really easy change. I'm just going to move it across one. Alright, so we shouldn't lose that 1 piece of coal, which will sort out the system at the back, which is where we lost 2 of the sand. I don't know exactly where the other 2 went, but in my testing, sometimes you do lose blocks with this. They just disappear. I'm sure it's a known bug or something, but yeah, that's just something I'm going to have to deal with. And the slowest part of this system is actually the hoppers at the bottom, because they are all funneling into one. So that's what's taking the longest amount of time. And I'm thinking of changing it so I can do 2 hoppers into this chest, half coming in from one side, half coming in from the other. Let me think about that for a sec and decide. So I am going to move half of the hopper systems to go into one direction. One thing to keep in mind is, if I was to put it into here, we would get the items from this hopper go into that bottom one. So therefore we wouldn't be getting any fuel into this furnace, So you always have to make sure you come from the back. And because I don't want to recreate the problem of this hopper dropping straight into the hoppers here, I'm going to have to dogleg this around this way. I'll show you. So this is the same as before, but we're removing this because we want to come from this side and then straight back out. And I am one hopper short. There we go. That will greatly speed up the hopper system. Okay, it's time to do a full-on test now. This is empty. These are empty. Let's put 2 stacks of coal into that. Turn that on. And 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of sand into that one and let that go. So we'll see them go any moment. There goes the coal. And there goes the sand. So I can turn the coal off now. That's gone around. 2 stacks, it should be done, dropping it all off in one trip anyway. So that can get turned off straight away. This one should take 2 runs. So each run is 2 stacks if it works out correctly. Therefore, if I got 4 stacks in it, 2 runs, and that will be done. So next time that comes, it'll be ready. There we go, 1 stack. 2 stacks. How much faster it is coming in now? It's coming in 2s. Three stacks. And we have a full 4 stacks. That is fantastic. These should be turning off any second. Yep, there you go, they're all off. That's empty. This is empty. They've all got 1 coal left in them, so that is what I call a successful test and a successful farm. Not farm. And a successful smelter. So now something I haven't quite decided on is how I'm going to cover this up, or if I'm going to cover it up. I think it's a bit messy looking how it is, so I think I am going to build around it to kind of hide all the bits and bops in it. So the hard part is deciding what block palette I want to use. I might use iron blocks for a bit of an industrial look. I've used so much quartz, I don't know if I want to use quartz again. I think blackstone is too different. Or the other option is using smooth stone. Let's go see how some of them look. To be honest, I don't really like either one of these. I may end up using white concrete with a bit of black concrete as well. But it's something I'm going to have to dwell on and think about and see what I decide on. So if you got any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I'll see you all next time.